Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Not Even Close to Being Odd by Nicholas Duhalel. And I noticed the clever use of even and odds here in the title. We'll see how close to odd it is being. Anyways, here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill every row, we can get a column here, column, and box with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats. We also have white dots join cells with consecutive digits. Not all dots are given, so these are called white crop key dots. And if, for example, this were a 6, this would have to be a 5 or an 8. Not an 8, 5 or a 7, excuse me, to make sure that these digits are consecutive. Apologies for that. I don't know why. I typed an 8 and for some reason said 8. Anyways. That's how white crop key dots work. Within a cage, digits must not repeat and they sum to the small number in the top left corner. So for example, these 4 digits must add up to 28. These 2 must add up to 12. These 4 must add up to 17, etc., etc. So as an example, this could be something like 3, 4, and 6 because these 3 digits add up to 13. That's how killer cages work. And no set, okay, this is where it's not even close to being odd. No set of 3 adjacent digits in a row or column may be all odd or all even. So you cannot have 3 digits in a row being all odd or all even. So if you had 2 digits here saying these 2 digits were odd, that means this could not be odd because you can't have 3 in a row here. And this cannot be odd because you can't have 3 in a row here being odd. Interesting. So that last dynamic is very, very interesting. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, the first thing that I see is this 11 cage has 2 white crop key dots next to each of one crop key dot next to each of the digits in the cage, or each of the cells in the cage. That means these digits are specifically either 2 or 0 away from 11. Well, if it's 2 going this way, if it's 2 going up, that would mean these 2 digits add up to 13, but that's not allowed because you can't have 0 as a digit in normal Sudoku. So this cannot be 13. It could be, though, 11 or 9. Either way, this has to add up to, this is either 2 or 4, and it has to be an even. Similarly here, these 2 digits add up to 11. So, actually, let's go this way. This is better. These 2 digits add to 5. So again, the difference between these 2 digits and these 2 digits is either 2 or 0. So if this is 5, this becomes 8. If this is 3, this would have to be a 10, which is not allowed. So this can never be 3. If this becomes 7, though, this would be a 6. So this is even. Well, we cannot have 3 adjacent digits in a row be all even or all odd. So if this were even, that would form 3 consecutive digits, which would be even. So this can't be even, this has to be odd, which forces both of these to be even because they're consecutive with an odd digit. Therefore, they are the remaining 2, 4, 6, and 8 there, right? Therefore, the rest of the digits in the box have to be odd because we have 4 evens already. Now, this is consecutive with an odd digit, so this must be even. This is consecutive with an odd digit, so this must be even. But to form an odd digit with 2 digits, you need a combination of an odd and an even. Well, we have the evens in both of these cages, so this must be odd. This must be odd, which forces this to be even, and this to be even. Okay, similarly here, this 11 changes by 2 or stays the same as 0. So if it goes down by 2, this has to be 6. If this stays the same, that means this is 11, which forces this to be 4. If these go up by 2, that means this adds up to 13, so this is 2. So this is even. Well, same here. If this is 15 and this becomes 13, this could be 8. If this is 15 stays the same, that means this is 6 to add up to 15. If this is 17, that means this goes up down to 4. But either way, this is even. We now have 4 evens in row 5, which eliminates all the evens from the rest of the rows. So this is odd, this is odd, this is odd, and this is odd. Okay, this cannot be 2. Actually, what can it be? It could be 4. 4, 7, 8, 9 works. So it cannot be 2 here, though, to add up to 28. This is an odd and an even here. We also have to have an odd and an even here, right? Because to add up to an even number, you need an even amount of odd digits. We have 1 here. Therefore, we need another 1 here. And it cannot be 2 more because then that would be 3 odd digits, which can never add up to an even digit. So 1 is odd here and 1 is even. Well, same here. This has to be odd and even because they add up to an even digit. Sorry, it adds up to an even sum. And we have 1 odd here, 1 even. So we need another odd and another even here. Therefore, one of these is even, this is even, this is even, and one of these is even. So we have 4 evens in column 5, which means the rest of the row must be odd. So this is odd and this is odd. And to add up to an even digit, again, you need an even amount of odd digits. So this must be 2 odds, and this must be 2 odds. Well, there are 2 odds in a row. So again, this has to be even, and this has to be even, as I showed in the introduction, right? It just turned out to be that's the case. I was assuming it was going to be similar. If you go the other way, if these are both even, these then have to be odd. So we have 2 evens and 2 odds here. Let's see, what else do we have? Uh, 3 evens. This is 6 through 9. Let's see. So this specifically has to be 1, 7, or 3, 5. We're not sure which. This has to be 2, 4, 6, and 8. And this has to be 3, 5, 7, and 9. We don't know anything about these. Oh, this cannot be even, because if this were even, you'd have 3 evens in a row here. So this must be odd. Same here. This has to be odd, because you can't have 3 evens in a row. Um... Hmm. One of these is even and one of these is odd. That doesn't help us very much right now. Okay. One of these is even and one of these is odd. If we need an even amount of odd digits in this 18 cage because it's even. We cannot have 0 because, first of all, we can't have 4 evens here because that would mean 5 evens in the box. But also, you would have 3 evens in a row here. You can't have 4 odd digits in this cage because, again, you'd have 3 odd digits in a row. So you have to have 2 odds and 2 evens here. We know both of these, one of these is odd and one of these is even because they're consecutive. So we have 2 evens here, 1 even here, 1 even here. The rest of the box must be odd. So these two are odd. Interesting. In this one, we know this adds up to an odd value. If we had only one odd digit here, you'd have 3 even digits here, but we know one of these 2 digits is even because they are consecutive. So that would mean there's 5 even digits in box 1, which is not allowed. Therefore, we know this must be 3 odd digits here. So this must be 3 odd digits and 1 even digit. This has to be 1 and 1. So one of these is even and one of these is odd. Which means here we have 2 even digits and 2 odd digits and 1 even digit because that's all that's remaining, right? 1 and 1 are here. So 1 odd, 1 even is here. This is 2 are even. So we have 3 evens and 3 odds, which means we have 2 odds and 1 even left. Well, to add up to an even number, we need an even number of odds. We already have an even number of odds, so this cannot be odd. This has to be even to add up to an even digit. Because we have 2 odds here, and this is 1 even. So let's remove this. Well, no, that's okay. Let's make these blue and red, right? So that we can identify that these have to be blue and red, one of each on each side. Okay. What do we know? What else do we know? This is 2 even 2. Okay, so this has to be 2 evens and 1 odd. So this cannot be odd, because if that were odd, you would have 3 evens in a row. So this must be even. Um, hmm. What else do we know? These digits have to be, this is specifically 2 or 4. This is 1 or 3. Therefore, this must be 2 or 4. And this has to be 1, 3, or 5 to be consecutive with it. This has to be either 3, 5, or 7 to be consecutive with 2 and 4, or 4 and 6, etc., etc. These digits can only be 4 through 9. And this is 4 through 9 here, too. But it can't be 4, 6, or 8 because it's odd. These digits are 3, 9, or 5, 7 here. Where is the 1 in column 5? It has to be one of these cells. So one of these is 1, which means this cannot be 1. So therefore this can't be 7. What else do we have? These digits have to be 5 through 9 because they're consecutive with 6 through 9. Hmm. One of each here. I guess we can do that. We do know this cage must contain a 2. Because this cannot contain 2, this can't be 2, this can't be 2, and this can't be 2. So one of these is a 2. So can you have 1 and 2 together? I guess you could add the other 2, add up to 15. That means we have 3 digits adding up to 60. Uh, hmm. Hmm. Hold up. Okay. What are the even digits here? They have to be 4, 7, 8, 9. So it'd be 4 and 8. Or it's 6 and 8 added to 5 and 9. Right. So you could 4, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 8, 9. Either way, 8 has to be one of these 3 cells. So this can never be 8. This has to be then 2 and 4 or 2 and 6. If it's 2 and 4, then you have to have 3 and 9 added together. Or 5 and 7 added together. If it's 2 and 6, that means it's either 1, 9 or 3, 7 added together. Hmm. Can this ever be two of the same set? I guess it could be two odds. Hmm. That's not helpful. Never mind. This is a blue and a red. We're not sure which one's which. We have three odds and one. So this can never be even. If this is, well, it could potentially be, right? You could have three odds that way. This can never be even, right? If this is even, then we have three odds in a row. So this has to be odd. We have two odds and even there. This cannot be odd because if that were odd, that's three odds in a row. So this must be even. So we have four evens in row 4 because one of these is even, this is even, this is even, this is even. So the rest of the row must be odd. So these two are odd. We have four odds here, and one of these must be odd. So in box 6, we have 5 odds now, which makes this even. So this is even. um, hmm. One of these is even. This is even. This is even. This is even, which means the rest of the row must be odd. So these are odd. Since these two are odd, this must be even. Since these two are odd, this must be even. Um, hmm. This cannot be even because we would have three evens in the same column, so this is odd. Same here. These two cannot be, this cannot be even because we have two evens in the same column already. This can't be odd because we have two odds in a row. This can't be odd because we have two odds in a row, so this must be even. So this is even, which means this can't be even. This is odd. This can't be even. So this is odd, which makes that not odd. So this can't be odd. This is even, which means this can't be even, which means this can't be odd, which makes this can't be even. Okay. Well, we have 1, 2, 3. Um, so this is specifically 6 or 8. This cannot be 6 or 8. This is 7 or 9. So this has to be 6 or 8 too. This has to be 5, 7, or 9 here. Can this ever be 5? If this is 5, requires two evens to be there, and there would have to be 8 and 8. So this can never be 5. This has to be 7 or 9. Hmm. If this is even, then we would have 4 evens in the same column, which would make the rest of the column odd, but that would be 3 odds in a row. So this cannot be even. This has to be odd. Um, this cannot be odd because it would have 3 odds in a row, so this must be even. Um, hmm. This one is fine with being whatever. One of these is odd, one of these is even. We're not sure which. Either way here, in this 21 cell, one of these is an 8. But that doesn't really help us much. Uh, what else do we know? Okay, this cannot be 3 odds in a row, right? So one of these has to be even. And since one of these has to be even, we have 1 even, 2 even, 3 even, 4. So that means that we already have all the evens in the row. So this must be odd. Since this is odd, we have 2 odds in a row in the same column, so this must be even. We have 2 evens in a row here, so that means this can't be even, so this must be odd. We have 2 odds in a row, so this can't be odd. This is even, which means this can't be even, so that's odd. So that's fair. We have 2 odds in a row here, so this can't be odd. This has to be even, which means this can't be even. This has to be odd. Well, we have 5 odds now in row 3, which means this can't be odd. So this is even. This can't be even, so this is odd. We have 2 odds in a row here, so this must be even. We have 2 evens in a column here, so this can't be even. This is odd, which means that can't be odd. This has to be odd because that's the remaining type in column 1 and row 2 and box 1. We have 4 evens in column 7, which means the rest of the column is odd. So these two are odd, which forces this to be even. Okay, that's fine. Only one of these can be even, and it can't be both being odd, because if they're both odd, that's 3 odds in a row. So one of these has to be even. We have 3 other evens in the row, so that means this has to be odd. Because of that, these two are odd, so therefore this can't be odd. This is even. We know these two, one of these two is an even because of how many evens are in the row. Therefore, we have 4 evens in box 7, which means this must be odd. And we have 2 odds here. This can't be odd then, so it must be even, which means this can't be even. This is odd. This is 2 odds in a row, so this can't be odd. This is even, which means this can't be even, so this is odd. This can't be 1 anymore. This, again, we have 5 odds in row 7 now, which means this can't be odd, so this is even, which means this can't be even, so this is odd. And now we know where all the evens and odds have to be. So now it's just a matter of filling everything out. Okay, so 2 is either here or here. This could be 8 with 1, 3, and 5. That is possible. Hmm. Hmm. This cannot be even, so this is not 4, 6, or 8. So this can't be 8. This can't be odd. So this is 5, 7, 9. Or we remove 5, 7, 9 from there. Hmm. Mm. Interesting. Okay. The rest of this box 2 cannot have a 9 in the odds because if this is 5, 7, that forces this to be 9. Otherwise, this is 3, 9, which means this can't be 9. We do know 1 has to be one of these two cells. That's actually very interesting. I guess you could have 3, 5, 7 here with 2 as a possibility if this is not 1. 1 then in box 1 has to be one of those two cells. So this is 1, 3, 5, and 7. Let's see. One can be any of these. We're not sure which. Mm -hmm. If this is 7, that would mean this has to be 5 and 9. So this would be 8. That would be 4. I guess that's possible. So that could be 6, 7, 8 there. If this is 5, Oh, this can't be 7. If this is 7, this becomes 6 and 8, which would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. So this cannot be 7. So this is 3 or 5 here. This can't be 3 for the same reason. If this is 3, this has to be specifically 2 and 4, and that would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. So this can't be 3, this has to be 5, which means this can't be 5, this can't be 5. This is a 7, 9 pair. So it must be, this is 16 then, which means this adds up to 12. So this has to be 4 and 8. Well, 8's not consecutive with 5, so this must be then 4. This is 8. This can't be 7 because, again, if this is 3, 5, 7, this is 9. If it's 5, 7, the rest of the box cannot contain a 7. If this is 3, 9, this has to be 7, which means the rest of the box cannot contain a 7. This is 4, this is 5, this has to be 6 then, which means this can't be 4, this is 2. This can't be 6, so this is 8. This has to be a 2 because there's no other place for it. So this can't be 2 anymore. This is 8, which means this adds up to 5 also. So this can't be 5 here. This is 1 or 3. This is 2, so this adds up to 11 also. Well, what can this be? This could be 4 and 7, 6 and 5, but it can't be 5 here, so it can't be 6. Or it could be 8 and 3. So this is 3 or 7, this is 4 or 8. The 3 or 7 is only, well, it could be consecutive with any of those. Same with a 4 or 8. Okay, that's not helpful. This can't be 5, so this can't be 7. This can't be 5, so this can't be 3. These two digits add up to 10. So it could be 1, 9, or 9, 1. 3, 7 also works. So it could be 3 or 7. That's not helpful. This can't be 2. This can't be 8. So we know 8 has to be in one of these 3 cells, so it must be here. So this is 8. This is either 4, 9, or 6, 7. Either one works. We have a 7, 9, okay, this can't be 4, so this must be 2. 2 has to be with 3 to add up to 5, but this still could be any of those cells. The remaining digits in that odd digits in row 4 are 1, 3, and 5. And 5 does have to be here. This is 2. Uh, 8 has to be one of these 2, but that's not helpful. This is 3. We have a 7, 9, 7, 9 pair in row 3, which eliminates 7 and 9 and the rest of the odd digits. So this is 1 of 5, and this is 1 or 5. This cannot be 2 or 8, so this is 4 or 6. This could be 2, 4, or 6 here. 8 cannot be here. 8 cannot be here. Where is the 8 in box 3? It has to be here. So this is 8, which means none of these can be 8. This can't be 8. Where is the 8 in box 6? It has to be here. So this is 8, which makes this 3. Therefore, the 8 is next to 7 or 9. The 3 is next to 2 or 4. This cannot be 3. This is 4 or 6, but it can't be 6 because of that 6. So this is 4, which makes this a 6. One of these has to be 8, cannot be here because of that 8, so this must be an 8. Therefore, the rest of this cage must add up to 10, and this can't be 2. Cannot be 6, this has to be 4, which makes this a 2. This is 12, so these 2 digits must add up to 6, and it's 1 and 5. This can't be 3, so this can't be 7 then. This can't be 3, so this can't be 8. This can't be 4, so this can't be 7 here. This has to be 7 and 9. This has to be 7 or 9, and this has to be 7 or 9 here. This can't be 6 because of this 6, so this must be 2, which makes this a 9. The 2 can only be consecutive with 3 out of 3 or 7, so this is 3. That makes this a 1, which makes this a 4 to add up to 13. This can't be 1 or 3, so this must be 9, which makes this a 1. This 9 can only be consecutive with 8, so this is an 8 here. This can't be 4 because of this 4, so this is 6. Which means to add up to 15, this must be a 7, which makes this a 9, which makes that a 7. This 7 makes this a 9, which makes that a 7. This can't be 4, so this must be 6. This 4 and 6 means this has to be 2. This can't be 4 or 6, so this must be 2. That leaves this as a 6, so this adds up to 10. And it cannot be 3, 7, so it has to be 1, 9. So this can't be 9 here because of this 9. So this is 1, this is 9. This can't be 3 or 9, which makes this 7 and 5. That makes this 9. None of these can be 5. So we have a 1, 3, 1, 3 pair in box 2. This can't be 1, so this is 3, which makes that a 1. This can't be 1, so that's 5, which makes that a 1. This can't be 1, so this must be 3, which makes that 5 to add up to 10, or to add up to 8. This can't be 9 because of this 9, so this is a 7. This 7 means this can't be 7, so this is 9, which makes that an 8. Therefore, this must be 7 and 8 to add up to 15. This has to be 4 to add up to 21. This is a 4 left. This has to be 3. This is a 5. So this remaining digit is a 6. The remaining digit here is a 2. These two add up to 3, so these two must add up to 14, and it has to be 5 and 9. This can't be 9 because of this 9, so this is 5, this is 9. This can't be 1, this has to be a 3. We have a 4 and a 6 remaining. This can't be 6 because of that 6, so this is 4, this is 6. We should have 8 2s now. We know where the last 2 has to be. It has to be here. We have 8s. We don't have 8 6s, but we know the 6 in... Well, we know this has to be a 6, which means this has to be a 6 here. That has to be a 4. This has to be 8. This is a 4. This can't be 1 because of that 1, so this is a 5, which makes that a 1. The remaining digit in row 7 is a 7, so that's a 7. The remaining digit in column 9 is a 1, so this is a 1. We have a 3 and a 7 remaining in row 5. This can't be 7 because of that 7, so this is 3, this is 7. That makes this a 3. The remaining digits in row 6 are 1 and 5, and they still can be 1 or 5. But the remaining digit in row 9 is a 1, so that makes this a 5, which makes that a 1. That makes this a 5. And these have to be 7 and 9. This can't be 7, so this is 9, which makes that 7. Congrats, I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. I don't know. It's slightly harder than easy, but not quite challenging level. It's definitely very interesting that the no 3 adjacent digits can be odd or even rule set. It definitely limits certain things. I don't know. I'm not sure if I was going about it the best way, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.